Good afternoon. Let me see. I can't see how much video I have time for. So that's a good thing. Maybe it means I have enough space. This is Gerard out here in West Texas. Failure! Dun 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 dun! This is not the first time I have failed, ladies and gentlemen. Let me show you the disaster. And no, I'm not peeing if you heard that. Let me turn it. The disaster. Reclaiming water from a collapse. I guess I give you a better perspective. Was inside yesterday, minding my own damn business, doing some growing, and of course, those 3 totes aren't supposed to look like that. Yeah, it's funny because everybody's safe, nobody was harmed in the making of this movie. So the 3 were lined up, if you remember. I noticed for a little while that the dogs were actually digging under the foundation here. They were enjoying the shade, doing what they're supposed to do. I, however, did not move fast enough. Therefore, they weakened the foundation enough to give just enough room to hear a major collapse. It was an earthquake yesterday as over a ton of water came crashing into the ground. Oh, and here's what you got to be careful of. These boots are picking up cactuses. They've had a good life, but it's time to get some new ones. So anyway, you know, I knew the dogs were digging under here. The truth is, I don't actually care about any of this. As long as nobody was hurt, that's all I care about. As long as the dogs were fine, there were no dogs underneath here. But what I should have done, I was piling dirt back on, but I'm sure they were constantly working at it and removing dirt. And so finally the foundation gave out. This massive tote, which was almost full, came crashing to earth. So I'm gonna probably redo the foundation out of concrete. That probably is the best route to go. Although in the distance, we've got the tote way up on the mountain, halfway up the big hill, and that'll create enough pressure to do what I want to do. But I think in the meantime, I'm just gonna probably put these guys back up. I'll probably use rocks though as a foundation, and maybe just a little bit of central concrete underneath a rock formation. I'm reclaiming all the water. That's why I've got those buckets. Need a lot of water right now because I'm washing rocks for the aqua. With this little doohickey I mentioned, I tell you, this thing is freaking amazing. It's giving me everything that I need, and syncing up different types of work. So this aquaponic grow bed has to be full of gravel. I'd rather use gravel on site. The issue is you get pieces that are too big when you do aquaponics. I mean, in my opinion, everyone's got their own story. I like pea gravel and slightly larger rocks, so the sifting actually is perfect on this. There's my little sifting station right here. I just get a bucket. It's got holes in it. Put the rocks in there. Put that sucker in there once the water line fills up, and I'm just rinsing and putting the rocks in here. But what's allowing me to do that is this little rock separator. So at the top I've got a wider mesh. In the middle I've got a thinner mesh for the different size rock, and at the bottom everything else falls through. And so down here you got just small rocks and powder. And to me, that's perfect for making the cob and the mixture that I like, which is kind of a cob adobe type thing. The big rocks at first stage, I'm gonna use these to increase the strength of the foundation. Where the tote was, the excess, I actually throw on the road here. You know, it makes great gravel for a road its size. These guys are perfect for the aquaponic grow bed. The bottom will be used for making clay, making pottery, as well as for sealing ponds. So it all works out in the end. I guess as far as an update, I have to give you guys some sort of a planting update, but I found a great source for mulch, so I'm starting to get that, or grass cuttings and mulch. So I'm getting that spread around, you know, putting up more fruit trees every day. This one was planted yesterday. And there's all types of great grapevines and other tropicals, things that will grow out here, and corn. So getting all my drip line in. This is one of the new garden beds here from this year. Right now I'm working with about 8 garden beds, and everybody's starting to come up, which is a great thing for the most part, but all this has got to be filled in. Mulch is the key to greening the desert. Oh, look at that. We've got some corn coming up. That's that strawberry corn. But all this has to be filled in with at least 6 inches of mulch, and now that I've got a good source for it, I'm gonna have to spend a lot more time hauling it in. And this is why I'm not a member of the gym. I don't need to be. I grow food. Growing food, I think that's a bean. There's another bean coming up right there. And there's more corn. So anyway, I'll have to do a longer update later. I'm just moving mulch and fixing the totes. I think I gotta run Wi-Fi today. I actually have a solution for the automated watering system, which I've always had. I wasn't gonna do it if there was something on the market I liked. As I think I mentioned before, I don't like the automated watering systems in the big box stores because mostly they suck. You gotta have significant pressure to get them to do what you want them to do. I was gonna use them temporarily to help water. It's not a good idea for what I need to do because look at that. Yep. Somebody left a B-U-L-L-E-T on the ground. I don't know whose that is. Not mine. Mine is a lot bigger than that. Must have been John's. But anyway, here's a solution. So, the automated watering system, with all the automation here, I want it 100% to be open source, free to share and give away, as well as I want to be able to control it. This is a solenoid. You just apply a little bit of current to this guy with an Arduino. It opens the valve in there, and it'll allow, I think this is an inch, about an inch worth of diameter water to go down through the tubing to water the plant. That's what's needed in my setup because I'm setting up the totes, and the totes will water multiple garden beds each. And so these little manual watering and the other automated ones, these guys don't have the diameter on the inside needed to equate enough pressure to water. I think this represents about 6 or 7 beds. So the solar, it can all be automated because then I can throw all the data in a database, manage what cuts on, when it cuts on, put it on the internet, be able to turn things on remotely, manage remotely, utilize a brain, moisture sensing, when it rained, etc., to determine when it should water. But anyway, we'll get into more of that later. That's 8 minutes worth of an update. I got to get to work and get these totes straight. Then I might go grab a little more water. We probably should have had some rainfall by now. We haven't. So there's something weird happening with the weather pattern. That's okay, because we're almost up to a point where we're going to start, get the Bobcat and start putting in the larger reservoir. Anyways, Gerard with an update. GGWT, Gerard greening his portion of West Texas. What is today? May the 26th, looks like. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Let me get back to it. Food production is actually going pretty good. I'm actually pulling about a tomato off the vine every 2 or 3 days now. So food sustainability, I suspect I'll have that in about a month. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Time to fix this mess. Like I said, I don't care. It didn't hurt the dogs. I don't care if it breaks the tote. I just got to do a better job of probably prioritizing the things they do, because puppies are a nightmare, especially if you have more than one.